Right. Oh, okay, here we go. Right, literally going now.
Is your name with a Y or IE?
Who spells Jamie with a Y? IE.
I don't know. Maybe your parents were weird and named you the Y. I don't know.
I mean, they are weird, but they haven't named me incorrectly. Right, let's bring it back to the race, shall we? Race 2 starting now. Riding on board with Knockhill from last on the grid. And hopefully we'll see ahead of us that everyone gets through turn 1 nice and clean.
That's disgusting.
Zach, get off Urban Dictionary. Right, game cameras, here we go. Race
Almighty
is underway.
Chungus Norris, I love you too.
We want that on time intervals, and we'll get rid of that for
Oh,
now.
what has just happened there? Our pole sitter has just lost it in the T1.
Zip plant out wide on the runoff of turn 1 there. Yeah, and now they're 3 wide going into turn 2, 3, whatever it is, the first of the S's. And a good move by DDM Drifting to get up to 12th place ahead of Jim Supra.
Stop playing favorites,
which
Jam.
I did speculate. I mean, I'm just linking it back to what I said at the start. If he got ahead of Supra, could he hold him behind? Well, he's now ahead of Supra, so we're about to find out. And there's another bit of contact. Ryan JP. And we got Organic Beanpole coming back at Supra for P11. That's a good move there. We got Supra and Knockhill.
Ooh, I
Not
see
quite
more smoke
siding
ahead.
the field.
Lots of bumping and banging.
Yeah, you always get a lot of little bits of bumps and bangs.
It's rubbing.
Lap 1 on a...
And rubbing, son, is racing.
I mean, this isn't NASCAR, but I suppose the sentiment applies, and Supra going up the inside of someone there has
Big Chungus is off.
wreaked havoc, really. Yeah, Chungus was off. We've seen Drifting turn sideways, and I think that all started with Supra going up the inside of Beanpole and turning him sideways, unfortunately. But yeah, real bad slice of luck for Drifting, losing at least 3 places, including to the 2 cars that started behind him. Zach, get off Urban Dictionary, start watching the race.
I'm not on Urban Dictionary, it's in the chat.
Oh, well, ignore the chat, we don't care about the chat.
We love chat.
Oh, do we? Okay.
Well, I do. Maybe you're just cold and heartless.
A little bit of smoke up ahead, around 130R, someone running slightly wide, as is Beanpole. Gets back on the track, Supra looking around the outside.
Push to exit.
Is he going to do him at the hairpin? There's contact between the two of them again.
Ooh, big
Supra,
contact at the chicane between JP and Big Chungus.
This time we got someone pitting on the a couple of drivers pitting on the first lap. That is Forza and Andy. And Beanpole with the bad run after being overtaken by Supra is now under pressure from Knockhill. And we've got Drifting there as well. Moving to the outside. SLS, Knockhill holding it round the outside, makes the move up to P9. And Drifting held there in a bit of no man's land, really. No, that's not what I wanted to do. We're now running on board with Supra. That's the thing I wanted to do. Change it to replay cam. Because there's a lot of cars, and we got there 3 wide with Leachy, Grumps, and Supra going around the
Someone
S's.
went off. I didn't see
on the
who.
inside now. I think that's Drifting gone off, mate. Drifting and Organic Beanpole falling off the back of this pack. I can see Drifting in the background. That's not a lot of good luck. Didn't have bad luck. He wouldn't have had any luck at the start of this race. And the 2
He
by
is this
2
race's version of Liam Doran.
I don't know if I'd go that far. Liam Doran has it every race.
Ooh, Rye with some interesting lines.
I don't know how this pack of cars is still 2 by 2. We've got Supra on the outside of Grumps, Knockhill on the outside of Leachy. They're going around the hairpin. Who's going to get the good exits? We see Supra just about clear Grumps of P9. Both the cars on the outside making moves around that hairpin with a good exit. It's definitely something that can be done around that very, very tight corner. So we've got Supra up into P5 now. A couple of cars have pit, but was that a car sideways? Grumps entering Spoon backwards. What on earth happened there? I cut away from that too quickly.
That was a 360 drift, dude.
Oh, just a 360 drift.
Yeah.
Just going for the style points.
Style points.
Still stick. Okay, cool. Are you sure? I'm not sure that's the most optimal way to take that corner in a race situation, but I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
It's all about having fun, you know.
Absolutely. And as we see Knockhill having some fun and making some moves up into P6 now, chasing down Supra up ahead of him in first and third from the first race in reverse order in 5th and 6th now, with the guy that split them just 2 cars behind. I can see drifting up behind Leachy.
Rise just gone in the
pits. He was, but he's there. Yeah, that's another thing it's going to be difficult to keep track of. Who's pit and who hasn't. And there's quite a bit of scuff marks on the left rear of DDM Drifting's car there. Oh, they're 2 wide up ahead. Is that for whoever's up ahead of Supra? Let's go and check in with them guys.
Yo, Organic Beanpole's car has side pipes.
Does it actually have side pipes?
Well, no, it doesn't have real side pipes. It's got, livery side pipes, but, whatever.
Tell you what, we've got Supra looking to making moves through the S's. Trying to go around the outside of Nathan there. Not the most likely place of an overtake. And the 2 ahead of them are quite close together as well, so hopefully we can see anything that happens between either of these pairings from this position. Flying through the Dagners.
Big Chungus and JP are going at it again for P12.
Oh, I think we've got a bit of an overlap for P3 though. Third Eye and Smokey. Side by side up. Oh no, not quite side by side. They've just managed to filter out. And we've got Supra making another dive into that hairpin where there was an incident caused by that on the first lap. But this time seems to have made it work. At least it was a lot cleaner. But he's still got work to do. He's still technically P5. Got a bit of an overlap on Nathan as they head towards Spoon. He's got PSUK Third Eye just ahead of them. Supra on the inside for the first part of Spoon. And Nathan goes very, very wide there. Drops behind not only Supra but his teammate SLS Knockhill as well. And we've now got Supra and Knockhill nose to tail. That could be very, very interesting. Let's just move up 1 position and keep our eyes on Knockhill, because I feel like this is going to be the fight for this race between these 2 drivers. And Supra already up another position. Knockhill going for it as well on the inside. 2 wide round 130R. How did he not end in the barrier on that inside line there? Crikey, he definitely kicked up a lot of smoke from being on the grass there. And Smokey up ahead from 2nd place, running deep. He's dropped behind Supra. I don't know if he was ahead of Jello. He might have been in the lead. PSUK Third Eye, I think, very sensibly getting out of that pack and diving into the pits. And they're going 3 wide down the start-finish straight. Knockhill in the middle, Supra on the left. They've got ETR Jello on the inside line. And maybe with a higher downforce setup. No, not now!
We've lost someone.
Who have we lost? I want to see that battle there. We're going 2 wide. Oh, the protagonists, 2 fastest guys from the first couple of races. And we didn't see how that played out around turn 1. By the time we get back to them, we've got Supra ahead of Knockhill, with Smokey right on Knockhill's tail. And I've got no idea what happened. Gutted. Absolutely gutted. Oh, Jello slightly on the dirt there in the background. Is Nathan going to be able to pass him? He's round the outside up the hill. Looks like he might make that stick. Let's jump back a quick couple of places and just see. Yeah, Nathan is clear in 4th now. Zach, do you want to have a look at the drivers that have come out of the pits and see if any of those guys are battling each other?
Yeah, I'll have a look. Back we got, there's a pretty good pack all the way from 10th down to 15th. PSUK Forza and Leachy are right nose to tail with each other, just ahead of DDM Drifting.
Oh, Drifting's gone through the pits, hasn't he?
I hope so, because if he hasn't, he's fucked. I mean, screwed.
Same thing, isn't it? Okay, so getting confirmation in the Twitch chat from Big Chungus himself that it was him that has unfortunately disconnected from this race. So, very unfortunate for him. Right, so, on the screen we have DDM Drifting up behind PSUK Forza and Leachy in 11th and 12th. All these drivers up to PSUK Third Eye in the distance, I believe, have already made their pit stops and are fighting over position without really knowing what net position that might be by the time everyone else makes their pit stops as well. Supra's in the lead, yeah, we know that.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, because him and Knockhill were going side by side.
I thought Knockhill was ahead
of him, disconnected. Well, I can't really remember.
I'm a good commentator.
I know there well, we completely missed what actually happened into turn 1.
Well, there's
Supra was on
2
the
wide
outside.
into turn 1 right now if you want to look at that for P6.
Oh, I would, but I'm currently watching Drifting trying to set up the car in front of him for P12.
Grump's absolutely sending it up the inside on Zip. Muscled him out of the way.
Was that a friendly muscle or a aggressive muscle?
Somewhere in between.
Perfectly acceptable then?
It was some good touring car racing, I think.
Well, that's good, because that's what they're in. So, nice move while you were talking there, Zach, drifting up to P12, getting past PSUK Forza up the inside, into turn 1. And he's now got his sights on PSUK Third Eye, just ahead of him. Third Eye was at the lead of this group, I believe, when I started riding on board with these guys. So Leachy with a nice move, pulling out a couple of car lengths of a gap at, for P10 at the moment he's currently riding in. Based on the results of the first race, we would expect Drifting to be able to get through this pack and maybe stretch his legs and see if he can get up to at least past Leachy in that little bit of a gap that's formed. But having the outright pace and managing to get through, get overtakes done, very, very different things. Nice move up the inside there though, if he can get a good exit. Oh, Third Eye going very deep, even behind Forza. But you can get a good exit on the wide line there. See if he can carry the momentum down into Spoon. Doesn't look like he's really close enough to be able to pull that off. But yeah, that's the net result. Another position gained for our boy, DDM Drifting. And as he's got a little bit of gap in front of him, let's jump back to any other battle. Where am I going, Zach?
I was looking at battle for third place. They were quite close to each other. But now, Smokey is jumping in the pits.
Okay, interesting. Tell you what, in that case, let's stay on board with DDM Drifting and see where Smokey comes out in relation to these guys. If I can get the right thing, and there we go.
Has Andy pitted?
So, a couple. I don't know, mate. Andy's not someone I've kept a track of so far. Where's he running? We've got Super and Knockhill haven't pitted. Nathan and I missed who was fourth. JP hasn't pitted, I don't think. Nor's Grumps. That looks like quite a tight battle pack. We'll check in with those guys in a minute. But here we are with Smokey heading towards the exit of the pits. Whereabouts is he? Is he out the pits? Is he up
He
ahead?
is out of the pits. He is
tell.
going through the first turn at the moment.
Oh yeah, just
ahead
ahead
of
of Leachy, just sitting in, just in front of this pack. Okay, so did you say Smokey was ahead of in the battle for third, or was he slightly behind?
He was ahead when he pitted.
So who was it that was pressuring him? You say it was JP?
I believe so, yeah.
Well, it's SLS Nathan currently third, so be interesting to see where those guys come out when they pit, because that could all be quite tight between the basically anywhere behind Smokey. I am going to jump in with, who was it I saw? Was it JP and around there? There was a bit of a battle. That's exactly where we are.
P4 back
We've got
to
Jello,
P6.
JP and Grumps all quite close together. So we'll ride with these guys, see if any moves can be made. Jello with a solid defensive display in the first race, managing to keep Zipplant behind him for basically the entire race. We jumped on board for a couple of times with Zipplant, who looked like he may have had the pace. Definitely had a couple of attempts at making that overtake work, but Jello, decent defence at that in race one. His defensive skills are going to be tested here as well, though, as JP lines him up round the outside, going down into 130R, and it looks like Jello rather sensibly backs out of that before there's a big accident at very, very high speed, as we see Organic Beanpole pass PSUK Third Eye on the ticker for 13th place. So, JP out now in 4th place. Is that going to be a switch behind them? I can see, is that Grumps pulling out to the inside maybe? They're side by side as they go across the line. Are we going to see another overtake in a very short space of time? And yes, it looks like we are. Grumps up the inside into turn 1, and that's Jello down to 6th now. A little bit surprised not to see Grumps in particular taking that opportunity to dive into the pits as he was up behind Jello as they went round the final corner, I've got to be honest. Speaking of drivers that have pit, Smokey has definitely pit, we know that. And he's got DDM Drifting right behind him by the looks of things. I think we might have just missed an overtake attempt.
Well, you did.
But
he got past Leachy at the Spoon Curve.
Oh, nice one. And he's set his sights straight on Smokey as they're side by side as they go up the hill towards the end of the S's. Is there still an overlap there? There is. I think there might have been a tiny little bit of contact. That is a very risky place to go for the overtake. Drifting's going to be on the outside as they go up the hill now, but slotted in behind. And that has really brought Leachy back into this battle. Drifting again, looking for the overlap. Is he going to be side by side as they go into the Degnas? Not quite. I wouldn't want to go around the outside there. He's going to go up the inside into the Stigma too, though. I think Smokey might have got a wheel on the grass. He definitely could have done slightly wide through the middle. But now, Leachy, having benefited from that getting past Smokey, is now on the attack on Drifting. Can he set up that round the outside move that I've talked about with a good exit? Drifting kicking up the smoke with a bit of wheel spin himself. And they're going to be too wide. Let's jump forward slightly. I know we have to go through the black screen, but I think it's going to be worth it. Rubbing door panels on the run down to Spoon. We've got DDM Drifting on our left as we ride on board with Leachy. Entering Spoon. Drifting has the inside. Has he cleared him? Oh, yes, just about. He's got Leachy right on his rear bumper, though, and that is going to be... Whew. Yeah, really, really good lap, or not even a whole lap, like half a lap for Leachy, managing to get past Smokey, whilst Drifting was trying to set him up as well. And
JP is in the
managing
pits.
to jump himself into 8th. Another good timing and then another good excuse to stay on board with these guys then, to see where JP comes out of the pits, because I would hazard a guess.
SLS Nathan is also in the pits.
Okay, well we've got a nice 4-car battle here. I would not be surprised to see a car slot into this battle pack at all. Going across the start-finish line. Now there's JP in the pits. He's going to be coming out behind these guys. Where was Nathan, Zach? Was he ahead or behind of JP?
I believe he was behind.
Well, SLS Nathan has actually come out ahead.
Maybe it was ahead then. I don't remember.
Sorry to correct you immediately on that one. But yes, of the drivers that are pit, I actually think Andy might be in the lead of these guys. Andy's just slightly up the road, unless he's had another incident or something. He's got a nice lot of clean air, running decent pace. After a self-proclaimed mare in the first one, Andy could be on for a very good result in this second race. How's the lead gap looking? Supra, since taking the lead, seems to have held it relatively comfortably. That's the one-player focus. It's about 1.5 seconds between the top two, and then a 16-second gap back to Grumps.
Wow.
So let's see if we can work out who's pitted from this. So there's then a 12-second gap back to Andy. So I would hazard a guess that the top 4 haven't pitted. Do you reckon that sounds about right?
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate. I mean...
Also looking at the track map, it would suggest a similar thing.
Yeah. It's a decent battle going on for P14 at the back of the pack between Third Eye and Zip. Zip has just made an overtake on him.
Zip Plant, was it Zip Plant that started towards the front and had a bit of an off at turn 1?
He was in pole and went off at T1, I believe.
Yeah, so not the greatest start for him, but if he's making moves, could be a good end to the race. I just don't know where to look, Zach. Give me a rundown.
Well, the current running order is Jim Supra leading, SLS Knockhill at P2, and we got Grumps in P3, Gello in P4. Those are the ones that we have not seen make their mandatory pit stop yet. And we got a big old gaggle of cars over here. Andy K, P5. Going back from there, you've got SLS Nathan, DDM Drifting, Leachy, Smokey, Forza, Organic Beanpole, Rye, JP, Zip, and rounding up our racing group, we have Third Eye.
Thank you very much for that rundown. While you were doing so, I've managed to find a battle to watch. Once again, it's DDM Drifting on the attack with SLS Nathan in his sights as they run into the Degna curves for the 9th time. Nothing doing on the way into the first one. Nathan a little bit sideways on the exit of Degna 2. Drifting pulling to the right hand side. That'll put him on the inside for the kink right, but the outside for the hairpin. Oh, he's on the grass! Oh no. Oh, that's...
Ooh.
That was a well-calculated rejoin, just about not managing to make contact with anybody there. But Yeah, Drifting really not had the best of luck in this race, but he's going straight back on the attack on Smokey, along side by side, going into Spoon Curve. Is he going to be clear? He was round the outside, maybe a little bit of contact there as Smokey gets sideways, and Leachy wide round that corner in the background as well. And yeah, definite setback from DDM Drifting, who is now, if I get the right thing up, he's dropped 1.6 seconds back from Nathan when he was side by side going into the kink before the hairpin. So we're going to drop back a position or two because it's now 8th and 9th that look to be close. Once again, no, not Nathan, Smokey on the defence from Leachy. Leachy looking to make it up into P8. And there's movement behind them as well. Is that SLS Nathan and... I don't know, I've lost track. No, it's Organic Beanpole, sorry. Alongside someone else. Oh, we've got cars in the pits. Grumps in the pits, dropping behind this pack by the looks of things. Right, so we've still got Jello yet to make that
someone
pit
off,
stop, along as the top two. I don't think so.
Third eye is off.
Oh no, really?
Yeah, at 130R.
Oh, that's a shame. Oh crikey, yeah, he's hemorrhaging time to zip plant, and
Do not know what's happened to him, but he might be
Has
done.
he picked up damage, do you reckon?
Most
There
likely.
is that dodgy thing there. Yeah, 12.3% on the engine. The transmission is likely replay desync, and it looks like Third Eye pulling off and maybe out of this race. Right, so let's get back to the middle of this random big battle pack that we have going on. From 7th down to 11th, we
missed Supra's pit as well.
Oh, has Supra been through the pits
Unless
now as
he's made a massive mistake.
26 seconds behind Not Kill. So I would assume that's a pit stop sort of distance. With a nice 5-second lead over Jello. I'm not sure if Jello's pit yet, in all honesty. And then Andy seems to be the leader of the cars outside of Supra that has pit. And then we have Nathan currently 5th, which I think should be a net 4th. I don't know. Do you reckon? Has Jello pit yet, or is...
I do not know, but I can tell you that Knock Hill is currently in the pits.
In that case, we'll jump on board with Supra for the next 30 seconds and see where he comes out the pits in relation to this guy.
What does SLS stand for?
I have no idea, mate.
It's Super Lap something.
Oh, Not Kill out the pits, slightly ahead of Supra. Going to be side by side round turn 1. Supra getting a little bit sideways. Get out of the way, map! Not that one, that one. And Supra just about reclaims the lead. These guys are a lot closer than last time I checked in with them. For the last lap or so, we might just have to keep our eyes on this battle to see who takes top honours in
T1.
race 2. Is that PSUK Forza by any chance?
Is.
We've just seen him overtaken on the ticker. Very unfortunate for him, but I cannot take my eyes off of the top two. Not Kill, fresher tyres may be an advantage, but they're cold tyres, so maybe not. Supra, I think, had... was it about... when did we check in? About the midway point? It was about a 1.5 second lead. Supra, of course, making his way from, was it 15th up to 3rd in race 1, whereas Not Kill had a fairly lonely race leading the entire time. But now it's Supra ahead of our race 1 winner. But definitely going to be under pressure for the next lap and a half.
Indeed,
towards
someone
the
else
end of
that
the race.
is
PSUK
under
Forza
pressure.
making up a position in P12, getting ahead of Ziplant. And Jello now running 14th, so he must have gone through the pitch as well. So your effective running order is Supra, Not Kill, Nathan in P3, ahead of Driftin, Andy P5, Leachy, Smokey, Beanpole, down to P8. Rye only up to P9 after an impressive P4 in the first race. And I missed the rest of that. What's going on there, Zach?
An absolutely beautiful move from DDM Drifting on SLS Nathan at Spoon Curve.
I'm very sorry I missed that. But once again, I'm not taking my eyes off this lead battle just in case something happens. But I will briefly glance over at the chat and see that, Zach, someone's telling you that SLS apparently stands for
Super Lap
Scotland.
Okay.
If only we knew someone Scottish that we could recommend.
Yeah, I can't think of anyone.
So Knockhill, speaking of SLS, very much in the draft going down into turn 1. Is he going to try and make a move? Not quite, but they were very, very close, bumper to bumper almost, before the braking zone. And they have a nice... Oh, that's on lap times. I can see. What is the gap back to third? Let's go on... I still haven't got a clue how any of these things works. So they've got a 12-second gap over DDM drifting in third, so they haven't got to worry about losing time fighting each other. Because they're not... Like, whatever happens, these two are going to finish 1-2, you got to say.
Yeah, unless they make an absolute hash of it and take each other out.
Well, it looks like, to me, the excitement could go right down to the wire, because through this first sector, Supra has opened up a little bit of a gap, just a couple of car lengths. But it was Knockhill, like I said, closing up down into turn 1. So Knockhill, perhaps, with the lower aero setup, the faster car in a straight line. So once we get out of this hairpin, I'll tell you what, I know it's a bit of a concertina effect, but Knockhill closing up a little bit there. Now that from here to the end, it's some very high-speed sections. So if Knockhill does have that little bit of a tune advantage in the back half of the lap, we could see a last-ditch attempt into maybe not 130R, but maybe the chicane, depending on how they get through 130R. Any other particular battles that are going on this last lap?
Battle for P5 is pretty close at the moment. Between Leachy and PSUK and EK. Bumper to bumper at the moment going through Spoon Curve.
P5, I'll check in with that as soon as these guys cross the line. Knockhill taking all of the track and a little bit more around 130R. Or he's just not going to be close enough. Not quite into the final chicane. They're going to be nose to tail out of the final corner. And I don't think there's going to be a big enough difference between them in terms of tune to for any position change. Yeah, there we go. So, Supra, from the back of the grid in the first race, takes a win in the second, with Knockhill coming home in second place himself. We're going to jump straight back to P5 on the advice of my co-commentator. Leachy leading a huge pack of cars across the line there. Actually, that isn't the line yet, is it? We've got Andy and Smokey almost side by side across the line. Smokey got him. Wow, that was tight. Let's get that ticker to go across and see what the difference was. Wow. 8 thousandths of a second between PSUK, Andy K, and RBHM Smokey at the end there. What a finish. I'm disappointed that I didn't get that with an onboard, but Zach, you told me the battle for P5, mate. It was 6th where they were close.
Well, it was P5, but Leachy got the move done into the chicane, which is what gave Andy the slow exit onto the front straight.
So Andy lost 2 positions on.
He did on the last lap.
Oh man, a lot of mixed fortunes for a lot of different drivers in this race. One particular driver we saw have a lot of bad luck, especially in the opening laps. DDM Drifting, you're in the party with us. You've included your audio now. How was that for you?
Let me just check my audio is actually in here. It is. Haha. Stressful. That was very stressful.
Yeah, we saw at the start. I mentioned a good start for you, getting ahead of Supra at the very least. And I think there was a car in between you at one point.
Yeah.
Getting caught up at the hairpin.
At the hairpin on the inside line down the side, I believe it was Chungus or someone else ahead, and out of nowhere got clattered from behind, which was quite disappointing. Completely.
But a very good rest of the race, getting up to another podium. That's
Yeah.
every race you've been on the podium.
Having been able to fight it back, certainly happy with that. My little off at the hairpin did make me think I was going to miss out on the podium this time round, losing out to Nathan. I believe you saw that rejoin, which was absolutely calculated, saw the gap between Smokey and I believe it was Leachy and just went for it.
Yeah, that made my heart skip a beat.
It was a little closer than expected, but it worked, and did absolutely everything to be able to catch Nathan towards the end of that, and it paid off, luckily.
Well, like I said, another third place for you again. That's 3 out of 4 in third place. And the other one, you went one better for second. So
Yeah.
100% record on the podium.
Yeah. I believe the only other driver to do that so far is Supra, so I'm the
I was
same
just about
as
to say.
Supra. Haha.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I mean, if you generalise it, yeah, sure.
Yeah, we both got 4 podiums. That's how I'm going to look at it. I'm just as quick as Supra.
There you go, guys. The excuses of a racing driver.
Exactly.
I think, so the race is very much over. We're just waiting for it to end. Is there a countdown timer on your screen at the moment?
There was a 5-minute countdown timer, I believe, from when Supra crossed the line.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it's just because, I think because Third Eye has parked it.
Yeah,
rather
Third
than
Eye.
leaving the lobby. We're just having to wait.
Yeah.
Wait for the countdown to finish. But this is pretty much going to be the end of the stream, guys. If you want to stick around and double check the results in full, I will put them on the screen. But I hope you've enjoyed both races and the attempt at commentary over the top of them. And if you really liked it, you can join us again next week. I should be able to stream the rest of this series now. I wasn't quite sure I was going to be able to commit when I first did the first one last week, but now every Tuesday, you want to be here. Andy should have been third. What happened? I gave him such praise last week, and he loves to chat in the chat. Let's see if he wants to come and talk at the end of the stream. But if he doesn't, or while we wait, quick rundown of Andy's evening off the top of my head. Had the incident lap 1, turn 1 in the first race. He was out wide and down to last. He said he had a issue later on with sim steering. Still managed to pick up a couple of places. Was running much better in the second race, but lost 2 places in the last stages of the last lap. Here he is, Andy. Get your audio included in the stream and talk us through your evening today, because you've had quite the eventful one.
The AI are having some pretty good racing right now.
That's alright.
Well, what an overtake around the outside. Oh, it's over. Oh.
Maybe that should be an idea for a series. A really long end of race timer, and you just watch the AI race each other around.
We'll do that next series. Just AI racing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I am down.
Right, so we've got the full results on the screen now. Andy, P7 in that race.
Yeah, it probably should have been P3. I caught the grass on the exit of the chicane, and then a couple of people come past me down the straight, and then Leachy made a move into the final chicane on the final lap, which made my exit a little bit difficult. And then me and RBHM Smokey were like a tenth of a thousandth. Does that make sense? In the
8 thousandths of a second.
yeah, it was very tight, but there we go.
Was there anything you could have done to stop that? Are you regretting not just sort of giving him a bit of door?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna waffle on forever, because there's not a lot left to say as the racing has now finished. Andy, thank you so much for putting on a good series and for letting me have a go at
Cheers for
streaming
streaming, mate.
it. So good luck for the rest of it, and we'll see everyone next week.